So let's start off in the main function. Int max equals to 10. Let's displace the size of our list. Int list square bracket max equal to and I'm gonna go on ahead and input random values about 1 and 3, 2 and 4, 33, 45, 64, 87, 72, and an 18. Now moving on to the void print list, we'll start off with a for loop. For int I is equal to 0, I is less than 10, I increment. Now what this does is that it displays the list in the main function, which is this one. So cout index number I plus 1 array I, then how about put an end I and maybe another end line over here. Now what this does is it adds plus 1 to I, since I is equal to 0 until it reaches the size 10. It stops there. Moving on, the booleans. The purpose of this, boolean is even and boolean is odd, is to know whether the index is even or odd. So let's start off with the even, an if else. We're going to do an if else then. Size modulus 2 equal 0. Then we're going to cout index is even. Sorry, forgot the apostrophes. Index is even and an end line. Else return false. Now what this does is it divides the size, which is 10, by 2, and if it's divisible by 2, cout index is even. Oh, I forgot to put there. Now moving on to odd, if else statement again is size modulus divided by 2, but is not equal to 0. Cout index is odd and maybe an end line. Else return false. So in a nutshell, if the size is divisible by 2, index is even, and if it's not, it's odd. Moving on to the int count even, start off with even equal to 0, for loop, int I equal to 0, I is less than 10, I increment. Now in the for loop, we're going to put an if statement. If array I modulus 2 equal to 0, even plus equals. This would then display even numbers. Then even and then end line. Now the purpose of this is to show the even numbers gotten from the list, which is here. This would display the all even numbers. Same goes for odd. So go on ahead, odd, put 0, 4, Then I increment. Again, inside the for is an if, which is array I modulus 2, but is not equal odd plus equals 1. Then we'll see out odd numbers, semicolon, odd, end line. No, I'm not going to put 2 end lines, just to make sure. Now moving on to the Boolean find key, let me just input the codes first before I start to explain. So I'll call it int num check equals false, see out, enter a number, see in number. We'll go ahead and add a for loop for and I equal to 0, I is less than 10, I increment. Inside that for we get an if num equals to array I. What will happen is if check equals true. If check equals true, then see out value found, and else see out value not found. No. Return false. And see out. Now what this does is it just searches for a number in the list, then displays if the value is found, or if the user inputs a value that is not in the list, which displays value not found. So if the user inputs perhaps the number 1, which is in the list, this would display it is checked true, and this would display value found. And if not in the list, perhaps a 19, this would display value not found. Oh, moving on to void sort list. Again, let me just input the codes before I explain. For equal to 0, 10, increment. If I less than or equal to array x, if hold equals array I, then array I equals to array x. and array x O. Then see out sorted list. Another for loop, and I equal to 0, less than 10, increment see out array I. Oh no, see out and place it there. And another, forgot put another second for loop here. X equals to 0 and x 10 x increment. Now what this does is that it sorts the list in an order, in an ascending order. Int hold is used for holding values for the array I, which is array I and array X, so that it could arrange the list. Again, hold holds the value for swap. The first and second loops gets the value from the list, and third loop, the second this loop would repeat until it reaches the max size, which is 10. Then after this is all done, this now would be, that would appear, because this waits until the second loop finishes. Then this displays the new list that is created by this. Let's try to run, and I got an error, expected value. Oh. Again, okay, compile. How about 1? See? How about you enter a value that is not in the list? Run again. Wait. 19. There we go. Value not found. See? And that is all. That's my assignment for the CS127. Bye. Thanks for watching.